You hear a branch snap outside your house at night. Your body freezes before your mind catches up. Your heart slams against your ribs. Adrenaline floods your system in an instant. That response has almost nothing to do with the quiet street where you live. Your brain still thinks you are being hunted. For more than 99% of human history, that assumption was not a bug. It was the only thing that kept your ancestors alive long enough to become your ancestors. They moved through open grasslands and dense forests where eyes watched them from the shadows. A sudden sound could mean a leopard preparing to strike from above. A rustle in the grass could mean a rival group approaching with bad intentions. The ones who paused to think things through did not always get a second chance. The ones whose bodies reacted first survived to pass on their genes. That is the system you inherited. It does not ask for evidence. It prepares you for the worst case, because the worst case used to be common. Joseph Ledoux has spent his career studying exactly how this preparation happens inside the brain. His research on the neural circuits of fear revealed that information about potential threats travels along a fast, unconscious pathway directly to the amygdala. This almond-shaped structure sits deep in the brain and acts as your personal security system. It can trigger a full-body response in milliseconds, faster than the part of your brain that creates conscious awareness. That is why you can find yourself standing still, heart racing, before you have even identified what made the sound. Only afterward does the slower pathway through the thinking brain catch up and tell you whether the threat was real. This two-road system was brilliant for an environment where hesitation could be fatal. It is less brilliant when the sound was only the wind moving a tree branch against your roof. Ledoux's work showed how quickly the brain can form these associations. A sound paired with something unpleasant just once or twice can create a lasting fear response that is hard to erase. The brain is built to learn danger fast and to unlearn it slowly. In a dangerous world, that bias toward caution makes sense. In a safe one, it can leave you carrying responses long after they are useful. Randolph Nesse has a name for this built-in overreaction. He calls it the smoke detector principle. Imagine a smoke detector that only went off when there was a real fire. It would miss many fires that start small. By the time it finally sounded, it would be too late to escape. So a good smoke detector is designed to sometimes go off when you burn toast. It produces false alarms on purpose. Your fear system works the same way. It is calibrated to generate more false alarms than missed real threats. In the world your ancestors inhabited, that calibration made sense. A false alarm cost a few minutes of heavy breathing and tense muscles. A missed real threat cost everything. The math favored caution. The problem is that the math has changed. You no longer live in a world where most sudden sounds signal immediate death, yet the calibration has not been updated. Robert Sapolsky has documented what happens when this ancient system stays switched on in a modern environment. His research on stress physiology, including years studying wild baboons, shows that the hormones released during a threat response are designed for short bursts. They sharpen your focus. They send energy to your muscles. They shut down digestion and reproduction because those functions can wait until the danger passes. When the danger never really passes, those same hormones begin to damage the very systems they were meant to protect. Your blood vessels stay constricted for too long. Your immune cells become less effective at fighting real illness. Your hippocampus, the part of the brain that helps form memories and regulate the stress response itself, actually shrinks under prolonged exposure. You start to feel tired in a way that sleep does not fix. You become more reactive to small things that would not have bothered you before. A delayed reply to a message feels like rejection. A change in someone's tone feels like danger. Your brain is still scanning for the predator that never arrives. Have you ever wondered why you can feel completely safe in your home and still find yourself checking the locks twice before bed? Or why a single negative comment online can occupy your thoughts for the rest of the day, even when you know it should not matter? These reactions are not random. They are the output of a system that was never designed to distinguish between a real physical threat and a symbolic one. Your brain treats social rejection and physical danger through overlapping circuits. The same regions that light up when you see a snake also light up when you feel excluded from a group. In ancestral groups, exclusion from the tribe often meant death. Being alone made you vulnerable to predators and to other humans who might see you as easy prey. So the system learned to treat social threats as survival threats. That wiring remains intact. A text that goes unanswered, a meeting where you sense disapproval, a headline that suggests the world is becoming more dangerous by the day. All of these can activate the same ancient pathways that once prepared your ancestors to fight or flee. Your body does not know these threats cannot eat you. It only knows that something in your environment has changed in a way that once required immediate preparation. This is why anxiety can feel so physical even when the threat is entirely in your mind. The tight chest, the racing thoughts that will not slow down, the sense that something bad is about to happen even when nothing in your immediate surroundings supports that feeling. The feeling is real. The interpretation your brain is offering is outdated. What if the discomfort you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you? What if it is a sign that something is working exactly as it was built to work, just in the wrong context? The system does not need to be destroyed. It needs better information about the world it now inhabits. It needs clearer signals that the coast is clear. In the ancestral world, safety had clear markers. You reached the camp with the rest of your group. The sun came up without incident. The predator moved on to easier prey. Those markers told the body it could stand down, the heart rate could slow, the muscles could relax. Modern safety rarely arrives with such clear signals. The potential threats stay open on your devices. They live in your thoughts long after the moment has passed. They do not walk away on their own. So the body stays prepared. It keeps a low level of tension running in the background. You feel it as the inability to fully relax even when everything around you is quiet. You feel it as the habit of scanning for problems even when none are present. Understanding this mismatch does not instantly silence the alarm, but it gives you a different relationship to the alarm. You can begin to notice when the response is disproportionate to the actual situation in front of you. You can ask whether the branch that snapped was a leopard or simply the house settling for the night. You can choose in small moments to send your body a different message. Not by pretending danger never exists, but by recognizing that most of the dangers your body is preparing for are no longer the kind that can be solved by freezing or fighting. They are the kind that are solved by thinking clearly, by connecting with people you trust, by resting, by letting the slower part of your brain catch up and evaluate what is actually happening. Your ancestors could not afford that luxury most of the time. The world did not give them space to reflect. You can. The question is whether you will use it when the ancient system is telling you to do the opposite. Some people try to fight the feeling. They tell themselves to calm down. They try to push the anxiety away. That often makes the system more convinced that something really is wrong. Because if there was no threat, why would you be fighting so hard? The better approach is often to acknowledge what the system is doing, to name it as an ancient response rather than a current emergency. To give it the time it needs to realize that the danger it is preparing for is not here. This does not mean ignoring real problems. It means giving real problems the kind of attention they can actually use. Clear thinking instead of emergency mode. Connection instead of isolation. Rest instead of constant vigilance. Your brain is not broken. It is running old software in a new world. The software was written in an environment where overreacting to threats was the safer bet. That environment no longer exists for most people, but the software is still running. The good news is that the slower, thinking part of your brain can influence the faster, ancient part, not by overriding it completely, but by repeatedly showing it that the expected danger did not arrive. Over time, the system can learn, not perfectly, not completely, but enough to let you live with less background noise, enough to let you hear a strange sound at night and still return to sleep without carrying the tension for hours. The process is not about becoming fearless, it is about becoming accurate, about letting your body know when the old rules still apply and when they do not, about giving the ancient system the respect it deserves while also giving it the updated information it never had access to before. That is the work, and it is work worth doing, because the system that once kept your ancestors alive is still trying to keep you alive. It just needs a little help understanding that the rules have changed. You hear a branch snap outside your house at night. Your body still answers with the same ancient preparation, but now you know the preparation is not the whole story. It is only the first line of a much older conversation between your brain and a world that no longer exists in the same way. and you get to decide how the conversation continues.